Well, thank you very much for that warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be here in sunny Hamburg. And quick question before we start. How many people in the room are responsible in some way for looking after customers within their companies? That's a good start. You're in the right place. And then how many of you are familiar with Zendesk? Excellent. So we'll consider this a get-to-know-you session, and we can maybe explain about some of the things that we do and some of the things, ways we work with customers. We're not going to go into a big overview of what Zendesk does, but we're going to talk to you about some of the ways we're finding that customers in casual gaming are finding ways to really increase their productivity. In fact, almost doubling the output and customer care that they can get from the agents that they have employed. And the way we're going to do this is, Niels and I, we've got this kind of cheesy double act going, so bear with us. But Zendesk really is a provider of online help desk. And it's a cloud-based help desk, and it's grown very, very quickly, over 15,000 customers. I think that's the latest number, isn't it, Niels?
15,000, yeah.
And over 15,000 customers worldwide, and actually used by some of the largest gaming companies in the industry as well. And Niels, my partner here, has actually been working with a number of these companies, and they've actually helped us put together the presentation today. So we went out, and what did we do? We went and asked them what the
them to provide their top three objects, what to do and how to improve your support and how to improve your customer support. Well, the main three takeaways, basically. And then we put it all together in this presentation.
So the thing we went was kind of slightly lazy, and when we thought we've got to put a presentation together, we said, well, why not get our customers to try and write the presentation for us? And these guys kindly obliged. So do you want to quickly whip through who we've got? I guess we've got Rovio.
Rovio with Angry Birds, yeah, everyone knows them. And we have Grand Theft Auto with Rockstar is the company behind that. Is Cool Games. Gladiators provided, it's a big browser game provided by Neki from Russia. And Sulaki with Habbo Hotel. That's the customers I reach out to, and we will provide some of their condensed feedback basically here and some of their learnings.
So the other thing that we wanted to do was try and figure out a way that we could share some information about you, because people always come to us and they say, well, what are the other guys doing? You know, what does good look like? How many tickets should my agents be handling a day? How many forum views do we get? And because Zendesk is a hosted help desk, it's used by, we did about 100 million, or our customers did 100 million support tickets last year. And actually, if you want to see this live, you go to zendesk.com/map, and it shows you being handled in real time. But what we do is we gather the information about that, and we can gather metrics about what good support looks like. And in fact, this slide is something that we did as some analysis for this conference as well. And on the right-hand side, we had all of those 100 million tickets. In the middle, it was companies in entertainment, which obviously includes gaming as well. And on the left-hand side, we looked for the best metrics possible from casual gaming companies. The casual gaming companies, I can't mention who they are, but you start to see some interesting things there. So the big thing that stands out, obviously, is entertainment and gaming has significantly more inquiries and customer tickets than average industries. No surprise, right? Massive B2C. And the number of tickets created is usually quite large. And so even on average, 1,500 tickets or inquiries a month. And that's including some of the smallest and some of the largest companies as well. The other thing that's noticeable about this sector is that satisfaction ratings from customers are a lot lower than standard industries. And we'll explore some of the reasons behind that as we go through the presentation and some of the things that we can do to fix it as well. That said, the best-in-class companies, so we have organizations who are getting over 200,000 views to their customer self-service forums every month. They're handling 124,000 tickets or inquiries every month, and they are getting satisfaction rates up to about over 80% as well. So we'll share some more of these benchmarks with you as we go along and looking at different areas. But I thought we'd kick off and start off with a customer quote, because support isn't just about keeping customers happy at the lowest cost possible. It also provides value in other areas. And so what did you discover, Niels?
Well, basically, Sarah told us that it's a key fact that you have to understand what your customer needs. So you have to gather all the volumes and types of different questions that you get from your customers, and you have to take this feedback, learn from it, take it to the rest of your company and to the relevant people. Let them know what your customers say. And Matt, how can we do this?
Well, the thing we looked at when we analysed, there are three key areas for improving support or enhancing support or continued enhancement. The first one is to reduce the number of inquiries that actually come through to people that need handling. And this is generally known in the sport industry as ticket deflection. So somebody's coming in, they've got an answer, can you bounce them off? And I don't like that term usually because it makes it sound as if though you're trying to get rid of customers, but you're not, you're trying to help them. But we'll use it for now during the presentation. The second thing is that once the customer has come through to you and they want something answered, how do you speed the response? How can you make it such that the people answering the questions can give an accurate, consistent, and fast reply back to the customer, and what are the techniques involved in that? And last but not least, how can you improve the quality of the interaction with the customer as well? And there are techniques that you can use there. So let's go through each one of these and explore some of the reasons. So we'll start off with deflection, or how should we say, self-service. And here's what the guys at Habbo or Sulaki say about that. So.
Yeah, Mika replied to that, and she basically told us that you need to provide, obviously, an FAQ in order for them, for the customer to find the answers to your questions. You need to post articles to improve and improve the self-help and make it possible at all. And let them find the relevant information quick and easy. That's easy to say, and it's very obvious, but if someone finds the answer by himself, and without involving your support team, that's basically a very good thing. Everyone wins. So let us look at some data to explain that. So on the right-hand side, you see the industry average of forum reviews and tickets per month and searches done. In the middle, you see basically the entertainment industry, which includes your subsector, and you see you have loads and loads of forum reviews, far more than the industry average, and also people look at those forum reviews far more often than they do at the other industry. And this reflects also in the searches. They search more than 5 times more than in the average in industry. And actually the best in class has a really impressive number of forum reviews with over 200,000. And also people look at their articles on a rate of 804. However, the click-through rate is comparably low to the industry standard. So there's obviously room for some improvement.
So what that means is that people who are visiting gaming or entertainment sites are half as less likely to find the information they need than finding sites of other industries. Yeah. So there's room for improvement on the content that's being provided in order to improve ticket deflection, right?
Exactly, that's what you can read out of those numbers. There we have a reply from Justin from Rockstar, and he basically says that if you have an issue, be open about it, post it quickly on your website, on your forum, and involve the users and make it visible to them. Involve them, let them subscribe to the updates, and then of course post updates. Keep them in the loop. And you spend a little time on that, but by being open on that and focusing on that, it frees time further down the line that you can spend on solving the issue. So keep your customer in the loop. And Matt will show us how Rockstar did it.
So this is the Rockstar support portal. The biggest challenge Justin had was that he had all of this information, but he couldn't get the website managers to publish it for him quickly enough. He had to go through review cycles, and it was constantly integrated. So what he did was took the Zendesk system, which has a portal, and then skinned it to look exactly like the Rockstar site. Now he has total control of the content that gets published at any one time, and it blends in with the site. So you see he has his properties here, and he's created different versions for his different portal games. So this is the one for Grand Theft Auto that comes in, and he has these commonly asked questions based upon that. And so the big thing that he's learned, and he mentioned this before, is that understand what people are looking for, make sure that that content is searchable and findable when they actually do stuff. And there are different techniques in doing that. The first one is divided into two camps. The first one is when do you have a crisis or an influx of queries. So maybe it's a defect or something, or it's a new launch, but you're getting lots and lots of questions coming in. So what you want to do is get the content up as quick as possible onto the site and publish that. But then the second thing is proactively and on a frequent basis, and you'll have your own metrics, but the rule of thumb is that for every hour that you invest in producing better content and optimizing content, it's probably equivalent to about 10 agent days a year, at least, in just producing, in optimizing the way things work. And you have the 80-20 rule, so 80% of your inquiries will come from 20% of the issues. And here is the information you can use. Firstly, when your agents are answering tickets, you can tag tickets to say what the subject was. And that can be done very simply, and that allows you to provide historical analytics from all of your previous data. But there's some new information coming on board now, which is pretty exciting as well. And I've just taken a screenshot of it, and you'll get these slides after. But the first one is search analytics. And this is looking at what did people search for on your search portal. And what it does is it ranks in top order. Here are the keywords people search for, a bit like on Google. It tells you what the average number of results they got, what their click-through rate was. Okay, so how many of these searches converted to actually somebody finding initially on the subtitles what they wanted. And then how many tickets were created as a result of that search. So how many times did we fail in the self-service? And then allow you to drill down and actually have a look at what those tickets were for the content to improve the pieces of content and weighting of search as well. This alone is proven to be a very, very effective way of actually providing that content up front and giving insight. The one underneath is looking at analytics on the specific forum or FAQs that you have and seeing who's looking at them and what the most popular views are. So using those two things combined can really help. We already talked about refreshing content. So refreshing content based upon the analytic feedback and also bugs as well. Another great technique on self-service is training your customers to use the self-service portal. And a very effective way of doing that is rather than pasting the whole answer in the actual response, even using macros, point them to a link back on your forum. And there's great value from that. Firstly, the customer will go back and explore other things and get familiar with the self-service portal. The second thing is that you only have to keep that content fresh in one place, so you don't have to retrain agents, you don't have to retrain other aspects as well. You don't have to keep that updated when you have a change. The last thing is that on FAQs you can add community forums next to them as well, and so it's an opportunity to engage that customer within a self-service forum as well. So routing back and putting the link back in the tickets. And some systems like this have a nice feature whereby if you're an admin or you can actually publish your answer to the customer and say publish this as a response into the forum as well. So you only have to write the thing once. So that's some of the advice on deflection. So really it's an idea of just making sure, not getting rid of customers, but providing them with the right information to serve themselves very quickly. And obviously interaction is quite important, and I know Neki had some pretty interesting thoughts on this as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, your ticket deflection can as good as it can be, but there are still some questions that will come through. But that's good. That's a good thing in general. Like Neki, Dimitri from Neki points out, it's basically an opportunity to engage with your customer. Take the feedback from the customer, take this interaction with the customer, help him, and maybe provide other services, make him aware of your other games, of your other services, of your other offerings. So that's basically the consensus of Dimitri.
But one of the things people always tell us, right, is that Yeah, it'd be nice to spend more time with the customers, but I've got such a backlog of tickets, we really don't have time to actually improve that. And so actually, I guess a lot of the effort here is how do you automate the dull jobs and the automated jobs and leave more time for doing proactive things, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now we need to look into productivity, and here's the benchmarks. On the right, again, is the average of all industry of our 15,000 customers. In the middle, again, the entertainment sector, including the gaming sector, and you see the tickets per month are 3 times more in average. But also the productivity in this area is also much, much higher than the average. And again, the best in class has outstanding results by solving loads of tickets and having very, very efficient agents working on those tickets. And Matt will tell us a little bit more about the productivity and how to increase it.
So, how do you really get up to that level of handling that many inquiries as well and doing it in such a way that the stat stays up? And there are a number of things that we've seen that that have helped on that. The first thing is trying to get the agents consistently using the same tools for handling inquiries from a lot of different places, a single inbox, so to speak, whether it's mobile, whether it's through APIs coming, calls coming in or information coming in from the site, whether it's Facebook, your Facebook posts on your Facebook page, whether it's tweets, chat or voice. So being able to aggregate those into a single inbox and channel such that agents can then work on it. The second thing is arranging agents by skills. And a lot of organizations do this already, but really looking at this from time to time and understanding where skill shortfalls are and where backlogs might be within that. But again, a big best practice is putting a level 1 person in for doing screening and rapid screening of tickets and handling things and then escalating very, very quickly. And those guys, when they're good, can typically answer or look at, say, one ticket every 5 to 10 seconds. And that's when they're not batch processing. Automate with processes and macros. So looking at the content that's coming in on a request and then automatically routing it to the right person. It might be picking up the name of a game brand. It might be picking up a language and getting it straight into straight to the agent group that's important. And then also putting in macros. So macros are things that allow the agent, so once the question comes in, to just give a common response. So it's almost like a mail merge for support. But so picking down a list and sending those out. Those things alone, we've found, just those two things, like routing and macro, can increase agent productivity by 20 to 25% because they're not retyping the same questions. The other thing it does is improve quality, because it means that if you've got a macro for, say, even if it's done something simple as resetting a password, or it's related to a particular problem, let's say with credits, they can just select the macro and then the right information is presented within the system as well. Processes for handling multiple tickets. This is really cool. So this is the notion of being able to take a whole bunch of things that require a similar answer and answering them all at once. And there's two ways of doing that. I'll show you some screenshots of that in a second. And then the last one is setting up for multiple languages as well, which is a big productivity boost too. So these are examples of channels that get set up. Detecting languages is really interesting. I expect most of you here are dealing with multilingual support, even if it's just 2 languages. And understanding that you need different skills for doing that, but also different content. Again, dependent on your demographic, but mostly we're dealing with, in many cases, we're dealing with people who are playing games in their own natural language, so want to be supported in it. There's stuff now that allows users to actually set their own language within their own profile, or you can pick it up from their browser, and this automatically gets in the system. You can also now parse the language that's in the text that they send you and set that locale with the end user. Now, the cool thing of that is that you can actually maintain the same piece of content across multiple languages. All the agent has to do then is say, send them this message, and it will automatically pick the right message for their language and send it out. So again, no searching through anything, and it means that you can, if you need to update one answer or one bit of content, you can also then send it off for translation to all the others as well. So that's that's what this slide shows. The other one is handling multiple tickets. And what all of these things up the top are the inbox. So these might have come in from different places like Facebook, Twitter, or email. And what the agent has done here is checked all of the tickets that need the same response. So gone through and gone update, and then at the bottom updated the selected tickets. And what they're going to do here is apply a macro, which is like a mail merge, which is the same answer to all of these people. What that will do is set the status of the ticket, tag it for future reference, put some text in it, and the text will actually mail merge in the user's name and the surname from the agent as well, so it's a personalized message, and close them all and send out the responses all at once. So what we find is that in times where there are a lot of common queries, which I know you all get, this is an incredibly productive way of doing it. The other thing that you can do here is that you can actually, at any point in time, assign a ticket to be related with a problem or an incident. So let's say it's something wrong with the gameplay that you know about that's actually being fixed. The ticket will come in. You would just say this is this type of problem. Automatically, it will send a response back to the customer, and when the problem is fixed, update the customer as well to let them know the problem's been fixed as well. So these ways of doing this, especially in casual gaming, are some of the most productive ways in order to actually get the agent productivity up. So, another way is obviously aligning skills. So Niels, I know, is cool. The Parisian Facebook games manufacturer had some comments on that too. Right?
Yeah, I spoke to Jenny about that, and she pointed out that something very obvious, but again something very crucial. Use the power of your team basically, and be prepared for things to come. So have different workflows in place. For example, an escalation workflow. If you have this classic and best practice layout as in first level support, and then someone can't handle this issue, have an escalation process in place to escalate to the second level, or even to the support if necessary, and keep them in the loop. And like Jenny points out, having maybe some super agent or some authority who can solve questions really easy, or maybe even on the go. There are several ways to do that.
So I mean, quality is pretty interesting. These are the benchmarks on satisfaction. Quality and satisfaction is often a factor of two things, and you can see here why overall gaming receives a poor customer service. On average, the response rates of time for first response are about 60 hours, so 2.5 days before the customer actually gets a response. And many companies have got it down to just over a day, and their satisfaction has gone up significantly. Another metric to look at is one-touch tickets. And the idea here is that you want to solve the answer first time, so you can actually measure this. Not surprisingly, the number of one-touch tickets goes down the longer you wait to reply for the first one, because people come back to you and say, hey, what's going on with my issue? So you can solve those issues as well. So here's, so quickly on quality, respond quickly on social channels. Facebook and Twitter responses tend to happen in real time. You want to get to those really quick, and you can really stop a lot of things happening. Email can be slower. Implement satisfaction surveys, and our system has one which is very simple. Every time you close a ticket, it sends by email, were you happy, yes or no? If they say no, you can do something about it. If they can say yes, you can. If they say yes, you can pat your agent on the back. And then obviously review agent performance. So this looks at the backlog of tickets different specialist skills have as well. So a lot of the talk today has been looking at the analysis that's available to you. And the nice thing about running everything through a single system is that you automatically get that analysis versus benchmark. Some customers even choose now to publish their satisfaction statistics on their website. That's our, being a support tools manufacturer, we work quite a lot hard on making sure our SAT's as good as it can be. Otherwise, we'd look pretty stupid. So we have one final word, I guess, from Justin on satisfaction, right?
Yeah, well, getting the data is fairly easy thanks to several processes you can take in place, like Matt just mentioned, getting the feedback of the customer, good or not. And this data is basically for free, right? The customer takes time and clicks yes or no, or maybe even writes a comment. And good feedback is nice to have. and you can probably have takeaways from there. But actually, bad feedback is even more valuable because you can learn much more from it.
That's great. So obviously, we're practice what we preach. We're happy to get feedback from this today. These are our email addresses. There's a few things that we've got, if you want to ping us an email, that we can provide for you. Firstly, we only took a snapshot of the feedback from all of those companies that they gave us, and we can give you the more detailed feedback and tips that they have. We can share with you some of the more detailed analytics and benchmarking for your organizations. And then, obviously, if you're interested in learning more about Zendesk, you can go to zendesk.com, actually, and just get a trial. Or you can grab one of us. We're going to be here for the next couple of days, and we're quite happy to show you a demo as well. So we're out of time. Thank you very much for your attention.